Hello, hello everyone. I'm Paula and welcome to Off the Clock. I finally made it. Well, this is a special edition of Off the Clock. In case you don't know, I usually have guests, but today it's all about me and me alone. And the reason I'm doing this is because I think it's a good time to explain a little bit why I'm doing the show because people ask me quite often why I decided to start this podcast. I've never done any video about the show, and I wanted to share also my experience so far. This is the show number 16, so I've interviewed in this show alone 15 people. I have previous experience in other podcasts, but yeah, I wanted to share some stories maybe, and talk to you directly, and also try to do a video that it's just me and the camera, and maybe someone in the audience if anyone decides to watch this live. But yeah, so here I am. Yesterday, I was thinking about creating a script because I was like, oh my God, what I'm going to say. But the name of my channel is Off Script with Paula. My guests usually don't get any script before, usually, no, they don't get any script before they join the show. They do the show with me. So I thought, well, I have to walk the talk. So I have also to do a show without any script. So we'll see how this is going to go. It can be good, it can be terribly bad, but yeah, I needed to try. I wanted to do this. I want to be more comfortable with videos. That's one of the reasons why I decided to start my own podcast. Just a second. Sorry. Weather, I'm in Brazil, by the way. I'm based in Brazil. Weather here is crazy now, it's changing. So I have a lot of allergies. So forgive me if I start sneezing, or scratch my nose, or scratch my eyes, or whatever. It's allergy season here for me. So anyway, so going back. Um, so one of the reasons why I wanted to do the show, I'm gonna start with that right away, is because I wanted to get better in videos, doing videos, recording videos, interviewing people. In my head, at least, they're very different. Doing a video by yourself, like I'm doing right now, and doing interviews, it requires different skills. But one thing they have in common that you have to be comfortable in front of the camera. I usually get a bit nervous at the beginning, like now, even though I've been doing podcasts since I think 2020 was the pandemic when it all started. So I can say that I have a little bit of experience at least, but that doesn't stop me from feeling nervous, especially in the first minutes. And also, yeah, being comfortable. It is a double challenge for me. I have the challenge of doing videos per se, and also because I do videos in English, and I'm Brazilian. English is not my native language. I've never lived in any native, like in any English speaking country. So it's hard sometimes to find the right words, even though I use English in my work on a daily basis since also 2020 around. I work now for a company that is from UK. Before I used to work for an American company, so it's not that I don't practice. It's not that I don't talk, listen, and everything else in English. But still, I live in Brazil. I am Brazilian, so it's not. It's different, I think if I lived, even being Brazilian, but if I lived in United States, for example, would be much easier because you are surrounded by literally surrounded by the language, the culture, but I think it's a little bit more challenging when you do not live in this in the country that you're doing content for. So I wanted to get better with the video, feeling comfortable in front of the camera, and that means feeling confident, and also like this pause like I just did, I'm doing all the time. It's a little bit annoying, so I have to practice, basically, to try to communicate better, pronunciate better the words, and to I mean, one big challenge for me, honestly, with any video is the setup, like the settings, because I don't have like a studio, a proper studio, or not even right now because I'm at my parents. I not even like a room just for that. So everything's kind of everything here is not planned for that. So I never know, for example, where to put the camera. I change it now. If you go back to see and watch any of my videos, I'm closer to the camera. It's like, no, I have to be further, I think, to so you can see better me, not just my face. But then I don't have like the proper equipment, I don't have the proper light, I don't have the microphone is like it was supposed to be on the table. But yeah, I don't have a table where I am. Anyway, so but that doesn't stop me from doing, which I think it's something positive. I think if I waited for the perfect setting, like the perfect equipment, perfect timing, perfect whatever, or feeling no ready to do it, I would never do it. I would When I started, especially when I started in 2020, I was extremely, extremely scared of doing. Was my former boss that really pushed me to do it, and I thank him all the time for that. Shout out to Rodrigo, because he said, no, do it, and it's gonna be fine. He believed me at that time. He believed more in me doing this stuff than I would never. It's not something that I plan at all, doing videos or lives or interviewing people, nothing like that. And I didn't even plan to work in marketing. If I Going back, just to really context here, I'm graduated in psychology. I worked in psychology just a few years, but then I live abroad. Then, anyway, I lived in Sweden. Then I came back, and then when I came back, it's like, no, this is not for me anymore. Psychology doesn't make sense. And then hospitality came to my life in a party, and a friend told me that her friend needed someone to work in. She had a hostel. I was not doing anything. I was not working. I didn't know what to do. I was close to. I was about to turn 30 years old. So I was needing the crisis of becoming, of turning 30. So I said, well, why not? And so that's how I started hospitality, work in hostels. And then I worked in hotels. And then after 7 years working in the hotel industry specifically, I decided, no, this is not for me anymore. I was not feeling happy anymore. I think all hoteliers will relate to this. It's a tough life if you're a hotelier. You have no, you almost have no free time. Even I was a manager, but I noticed that the more I would grow into my career, the less time I would have for myself. And it should be the opposite way. I thought, you know, but no. So you have no rest, no weekends, no holidays, nothing. It was pretty much crazy life, and 24/7 answering things. Anyway, I was too tired to to continue working in the hotel industry. Didn't know what to do again. And back then I was almost 40. I am 45 now. So another crisis came. was like, okay, I'm gonna change careers again, close to 40 years old. I don't think that's smart, but that's what I did. That was I felt that it would make me happy, and I start looking for careers that would match the things that I like. And then kind of found out about content marketing. Marketing was not something that was in my radar before at all, but the only thing that the only thing that I could relate to marketing is, oh, I like to write, but for me, marketing was just ads. And then I found out about content marketing, and then it's like, oh, okay, that can be interesting. And then I started studying on my own content marketing, start freelancing, and then I got good feedback. I was, oh, maybe I have a chance here. But the freelancer was very, little. But I'm also very thankful for the person that first hired me in content marketing art to as a content writer to write articles for her. Um, and Renata is her name. So shout out to Renata too. And she was the first one that ever paid me to write. And that was it was a boost in my confidence. And yeah, so I was okay. Now I have to find a full time job, but who's gonna hire me? Almost 40, no experience basically in content marketing. I had like just a few jobs as a freelancer, no formal education, just free courses. So like, okay, that can be tricky to say the least. So then I decided, then I start thinking, maybe I should. Then I start thinking like maybe I should use my previous experience somehow to get the new job, and that's the thing that I think people misunderstand, or I don't know, don't take into consideration when they change jobs. You're never starting from zero. Even if you change careers, like you still take your skills, the skills that you have, and the knowledge. And that's what I thought. So I was like, okay, so I worked my last experience was in hotel industry, hospitality. And then on LinkedIn I started finding these companies that would work for hotels as vendors. I was like, okay, maybe a vendor would hire me because I do have the industry knowledge. To write about hotel stuff would be easier for me than maybe someone else, even though this person would have experience in content marketing. They did not have the experience in hospitality. That was the way that I was thinking back then, and it worked. So I reached out to companies. The hotel tax. I actually reached out only to two, I think, back then, and one of them hired me. And yeah, so here I am 8 years later, still working hotel tech. Now working, as I said, not only Hot Attack, but to a non-Brazilian company, which is also another challenge, not only because of the language, but culture and everything. But I love it. I really, really like uh, the culture factor of, you know, dealing with different backgrounds and stuff like that. It's all, I mean, I'm in psychology. In my vein. I study 5 years psychology. It's probably because you like people, hopefully, and you like this, learning about other cultures and other backgrounds and how communication and all that stuff, psychology uh, studies. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy. And as I said, going back to the original question, why I'm doing this. So first, get better on videos, and then because I did some podcasts, as I said, hosted some podcasts before, but it was always the company's podcast. And because of the company's podcast, of course they have their own goals. It was, mostly educational content, which I really like to do, by the way. But I wanted to do something that it was me. Although both companies, all the companies that I work for in this 8 years that I'm content marketing, I cannot complain. They are being very, very nice to me, and they always allow me to be myself. But I am a person that at least I take in consideration that when I'm hosting a webinar, for example, I it's me, but it's also the company with me. You know what I mean? So I never forget that I'm representing a company, and so I wanted to have a channel that it was me, just me, and I could have 100% freedom. And if I screw up, that's fine. If no one watched, that's okay. And I can talk about more personal things, and that's also a really one of the main reasons I start my own podcast off the clock is to was to be able to I found out that I love interviewing people and telling stories, you know hear their stories, telling a little bit of mine too when I think it fits. But I really like that. I really, really like that. And I think all episodes, well, for sure, all episodes of this off the clock, my podcast, but I think all episodes that I ever done, like from previous podcasts, I always have fun. Always. I'm not living like I always laughing, and it's a genuine laugh, and I'm always, I don't know. I just like it. I don't know how to explain better than this. It's a bit cliche, but it is. I really enjoy doing this interviewing people. So yeah, so I wanted my own channel. So that's reason number two. Reason number three, it's because I am very interested in learning specifically about YouTube. Because I think YouTube is a channel that I personally haven't explored much. And I think companies, depending on the industry, also don't explore much. And I think they might be something there that we are all missing. So for my career as a marketer, and also for personal reasons, I want to learn about YouTube, you know. So I see a lot of people doing great in creating their channels. So I got curious. I think it's a great channel to talk directly to your audience, to exchange, because I do live shows. So just write in the chat, and we can we can talk about whatever is the topic. So yeah, so YouTube was on my radar for quite a long time. I wanted to start, and and it's been a challenge I do have, uh how can I say that, I do have an audience on LinkedIn. It's not like the biggest one, that people that have much more than I do. I have almost 6,000 followers. But on YouTube, I have like 41 subscribers right now. Today is 15th May 15th, 2026, and I only have 41 subscribers. And it's really, really hard to make people that follow me on LinkedIn to follow me here, I mean, on YouTube or Instagram too. Instagram, I'm not that big. I mean, I never put much effort on Instagram, to be honest. But not even but there I have like almost 500 followers. It could be it. I thought it would be easier to get at least 100 subscribers in my YouTube, but no, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've been talking to some people, and exchanging experiences, because I haven't found a recipe yet on how to grow on YouTube, but that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm trying. So that's reason number three, right? Yeah. So I think I cover the main reasons why I decided to do this show. And also, one other question that I get a lot, that I maybe should have done a video before launching the show, but anyway, here I am now. The other question is why you doing this show, in the sense of what it sorry. The other question is, what is Off the Clock podcast. And the easiest way for me to explain is that I really wanted to do a podcast that was more like a talk show, because I really like talk shows. And as I mentioned before, I wanted to be more personal with the guests and fun. I really like to do, at least I try to do fun content. Because I mean, there's so much information like all the time from everywhere, everybody have something to say or something to write, or an opinion, and it can be too much, and sometimes you need to study something, then you have to be more serious, or it's a topic that is serious, you need that. But I want something fun. Like I really like this. I did, even when I do content for company, I think it's quite obvious that I try to be light and fun. That's I can talk you, because you can be serious and still be fun to listen to. You don't need to be boring just because you're serious. They're not, at least in my opinion. So yeah, so Off the Clock is a kind of kind of talk show. Right now it's basically with the hospitality guests, because it's the industry that I know, because it's the people that I know, my connections. Most of them are from the hospitality industry. But I do have uh, a desire to interview people from other industries as well. So at some point, I think I will try to reach out. I still have to figure out, like, who I want, like what would make. Actually asked that for one of my guests on on Off the Clock. I think I asked this to Susan Barry. I asked her, and she has a podcast, and I asked her what makes someone a good guest for you. And I guess I have to figure out myself what I'm looking for a little bit more. I want great conversations, of course. I want people that are willing to open their stories to me and to the audience. And yeah, so but I have to better define what I want, I think, so then I can maybe open the show to other people. But yeah, so it's a talk show. It's a talk show ish program podcast, with hospitality people, most of them being personal, sharing stories of their lives, of their careers. And sometimes we do talk, like, how can I say that, more things like, I want their opinion on things that are happening in the industry, or trend topics, as you can say. So it's opinions, stories, and experience. I am trying to do. My original idea was to make was that the show would be short, and by short I mean like 20 minutes, which for today's world is not short. But I never managed to to do I never, not even once, managed to do a 20-minute show. It's always more, sometimes even 46 minutes. I think it was the longest one, because I get caught up in the conversation and I want to learn more about this and that. And yeah, so it's over always more, and my guests are amazing. They understand. They understand that I'm just in the beginning, that I'm learning. They understand the show, and they are great guests. So I never have a problem so far. because of that. I always tell them that I'm sorry. I will probably go over time. But sometimes they could have some sort of commitment with something else, of course. So I always ask if that's okay if we go over, and usually it's fine. So yeah, and because it's a talk show, I wanted to do like every talk show have like a segment that it's their signature or something like that. So I wanted to do that. So I created a Would You Rather, which I really really like, which is the like a very it's like fast answering questions and answers, where I present to the guest like two situations or two problems or whatever, or two things, and the guests have to choose one without overthinking. And it's supposed to be a little more fun, funny, and yeah, and personal. So I really like that part of the show, that I will keep it for sure. I am trying to get better with the time, like being a 20-minute show. Um, and oh yeah, one of the main reasons I completely forgot reason number 4. I'm so sorry, because the other reason why I'm doing this podcast is because I wanted to improve my editing skills, not only video skills in terms of being comfortable in front of the camera, but editing. I'm horrible. I am horrible. So I'm really trying to get better, to be at least okay, because it's very important in today's world. As in marketing, video is everything. With AI too, AI search, they usually, when you even Google search, when you search whatever on Google, they do like to recommend YouTube videos or shorts or TikTok or whatever. They like videos, so it helps you to get on top of the list as well. So as a marketer, I wanted to be good in videos. I will never be like a designer, I think, or a video editor, but I want to be able to do a decent job. So if you go to my channel right now, or not right now, of course not, after the show is after this episode is over, you can go to my channel, and then you can. By the way, let me put it here in case you don't know. Wait, subscribe now. Yeah. So you can go to my channel and you'll see the shorts, right? Because I'm creating shorts. I try to create a lot of shorts from the videos, because it helps you reach more people, and it's what people like right nowadays. Short videos, basically. And you will see that they are very different. Like the template that I use, I change. Now it's starting to be more like I starting to actually use, at least when it's only one person in the video, to have the same template. But I'm still like changing the caption, like the font or the color. It's still a bit messy. I'm still getting there, but I play around. It's kind of fun, and I'm learning how to, well, we have like the simple editing, which is not simple for me, but it's just cutting whatever you want and then adding the caption. But the thing that I really want to be good at, and I'm trying, again, you can see on my channel some videos, I try to add memes, or or sounds or something like that, to make, because it's social media. I think no one social media, at least if you think TikTok or you think Instagram, no one, or even YouTube, for God's sakes. Like if you go to shorts, it's not. Most of the time, you want something that is easy to digest. It's fun. It's interesting. So I'm trying. I'm experimenting a lot, and that's why I also have my podcast. Because if it's, yeah, I would not do it, if it was a company's podcast, like changing all the time the colors and the template and the name of my channel. That it's everything that you learn as a marketer not to do. Pattern is important, and because people recognize your brand and all that stuff. But yeah, so that's another reason to why I'm doing. So I'm creating this. So I have this. I want to get better interviewing people. I want to get better creating the scripts. And as I said, right now I'm still struggling with creating a script for the time that I have. Like I have 20-minute podcast, and I put like 12 questions. Of course, it's gonna be over. Gonna go. Of course, it's gonna last more than 20 minutes, unless the guest is like just yeah which never happens. Thank God. So yeah, so I always more. Uh, wait. And then also talking about improving my video skills. And with this podcast, I'm doing everything. So like even to put this banner, or putting the applause that I put in the beginning, all this stuff while I'm doing the show, for me it's also challenging. So sometimes I manage to do what I planned. Sometimes I don't, because I yeah I I lose I miss the timing to put things in the banner, or the sound effect, or whatever it is. So it is quite hard, and I applaud everybody that do everything the show by themselves, because when I work in a company, usually have at least one person helping me during the live show. So I was just focusing on the conversation, and I didn't and the chat. That's okay too, but not all the other stuff in the backstage. And now I have to. So and I feel a little bit frustrated still, that I missed the timing. Like, oh no, I should have put this sound effect, or that would be much more fun, or whatever it is. Because yeah, I'm I yeah it's hard to do both, to host and to be on backstage, like producing things, at least for me. So I admire everybody who managed to do that. um yeah, so I think it's already 20 minutes. I thought I would not make it. Another one that I want to do, as I said, it's 15. Well, I've recorded 15 episodes already. This is the 16, number 16. I want to do maybe another show, maybe even the weekend now. I don't know. Not gonna promise anything, but I want to do another one with some stories of the backstage and things that I learned so far. I share a little bit what I've learned here, but I want to do one just for that. I do have a newsletter on LinkedIn called Behind the Content, where you can find some of the stories backstage, because it happens a lot of things. Like I think only the last episode didn't happen, like nothing in terms of technical, especially technical problems, mic that doesn't work, or I can hear the guest, or internet crash, or whatever it is. So I would like to do an episode just to talk about a few things that happened, what I felt, what I thought, what was going on in my mind, the panic sometimes. Yeah, just because I do like this this sharing the behind the content. I would love to connect to more content creators out there, and exchange experiences. I used to have a Instagram series called Behind the Content, where I interview content creators to learn about content creation. And it was really, really good. And it is my intention to start a second podcast called Behind the Content, to do like the same as I did in Instagram. But I still have to organize my things a little bit better. I do have a full-time work besides this YouTube thing channel. So eventually I will probably start another podcast. So I have, this is also confusing, and I don't know if I'm doing wrong or not, but I do have a channel. It's called Off Script with Paula. And but I thought it was too long to put as yeah, I thought it was too long. So I have this channel Off Script with Paula, and you can find me on YouTube at Paula Carreirão, my name. And then inside of the channel, I have the podcast Off the Clock. People confuse the Off Script with Off the Clock. Off Script is the channel. The podcast is Off the Clock, and then I want to create another podcast inside of my channel. I see other YouTube channels. They do the same. They have the channel name, and then they have multiple podcasts. Sometimes there are people that only have one, and they focus on that one. And the other bigger channels actually that have more than one podcast. And yeah, because it's not difficult enough to have one podcast. I want to add another challenge and then create another, because but the thing is, because I really really like to talk about content marketing, so I'm starting to miss that. And yeah, and Off the Clock, it's interviews, it's more about the persons that the people behind the job titles. It's another thing. And content, and the channel about the behind the content can be videos with only me, and or inviting other content creators out there. So yeah, so this probably or hopefully I will have at some point in my channel. Well, if you watch this 37 minutes of my monologue here, I really really appreciate it. If you like the video, if you share the video, I also will be very very thankful, because as you know, the platform will boost your content more if you have some sort of feedback, likes, shares, and comments that tells the platform that your content is good. So it really would really 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 help me if even it's just one click like. That would really really help. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It also will help me. And yeah, I think that's it for today. Thanks everyone for watching this. I hope you like this special edition. And I hope to see you next time. Next week I have another Off the Clock episode. It's already scheduled. So stay tuned. Okay? See you guys. Bye bye.